Alcohol, one of the most widely consumed substances in the world. It's associated with parties, celebration, escape, and also addiction, regret, and broken lives. But what does Islam actually say about it? Is alcohol really haram in the Qur'an, or is it more of a cultural taboo misunderstood by outsiders? Let's explore the truth directly from the Qur'an, the Prophet Muhammad's, peace be upon him, sayings, and the Islamic legal tradition. The Qur'an's gradual prohibition of alcohol. The Qur'an didn't prohibit alcohol overnight. Instead, it used a step-by-step process, educating the early Muslim community and guiding them gradually away from it. And from the fruits of the date palm and the grapevine, you derive intoxicants and good provision. Surely in this is a sign for people who use reason. Surah An-Nisa 1667. Here, alcohol is acknowledged as a product of creation, but the verse ends by urging reflection, signaling that not all that is created is meant for consumption. Warning against intoxication. During prayer, O you who believe, do not approach prayer while you are intoxicated until you know what you are saying. Surah An-Nisa 4:43. This was a turning point. Muslims were commanded to stay away from prayer while drunk, highlighting how alcohol impairs clarity, focus, and spirituality. Acknowledging harm over benefit, they ask you about wine and gambling. Say, in them is great sin and some benefit for people, but their sin is greater than their benefit. Surah Al-Baqarah 2:219. Yes, the Qur'an acknowledges there's some social or financial benefit to alcohol, but it draws a line. The harm outweighs the gain. That's a strong moral verdict. Clear prohibition. O you who believe, intoxicants, gambling, idols, and divining arrows are an abomination of Satan's handiwork, so avoid them that you may succeed. Satan only wants to sow enmity and hatred among you through wine and gambling, and to prevent you from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. So will you not desist? Surah Al-Ma'idah 590-91. No more ambiguity. Alcohol is called rijs, filth, a tool of Satan, a spiritual and social toxin, and believers are commanded to stay away from it entirely. The Prophet Muhammad's clear teachings. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, reinforced the Qur'an's message with powerful, unforgettable words. Every intoxicant is khamr, and every khamr is haram. Sahih Muslim. If a large amount intoxicates, then a small amount is also forbidden. Tirmidhi. This principle is huge. It's not about quantity, it's about the potential to intoxicate, and any amount is impermissible. Allah has cursed 10 types of people related to alcohol. The one who makes it, the one who drinks it, the one who serves it, the one who sells it, the one who buys it, the one who transports it, the one it's transported for, the one who profits from it, the one who presses it, and the one who orders it to be pressed. Tirmidhi. Not just the drinker. Everyone involved in the chain of production, distribution, or use is held responsible. The legal verdict. What do Islamic scholars say? Across all 4 major Sunni schools of Islamic law, Hanafi, Shafi'i, Maliki, and Hanbali, there is a unanimous ruling. Alcohol is haram. Hanafi scholars initially made a distinction between wine made from grapes and other fermented drinks, but this view was later refined, and all intoxicants were declared impermissible. Shafi'i, Maliki, and Hanbali schools have always held a strict position. Any substance that intoxicates is absolutely forbidden, regardless of its source. The concept of ijma, scholarly consensus, reinforces this. There is no legitimate disagreement in Islam over the prohibition of alcohol. The wisdom behind the prohibition. Islam didn't prohibit alcohol just for spiritual reasons. It looked at the bigger picture. Alcohol damages judgment. It ruins families and relationships. It fuels violence and crime. It causes health issues and addiction, and it distances the soul from God. The Quran said it clearly. Alcohol prevents remembrance of Allah and keeps you away from prayer. It creates hostility. It tears people apart. I hope the information I have provided so far has been useful. Now let's read the verses in the Quran that mention alcohol, which I have not included in the video. Surah Muhammad 47:15, related to paradise, not worldly alcohol. In it are rivers of water unaltered, rivers of milk the taste of which never changes, rivers of wine delicious to those who drink, and rivers of purified honey. This verse describes paradise, where wine is mentioned, but it is not intoxicating or harmful like worldly wine. It reflects purity and reward. Surah As-Safat 37:45-47. They will be served a drink of pure wine, sealed. Its aroma will be that of musk. For this, let the competitors compete. Again, this is about heavenly wine, which is pure and does not cause intoxication or harm. Surah At-Tur 52:23. They will exchange with one another a cup of wine, wherein is no ill speech or commission of sin. In paradise, wine is harmless and sinless, unlike worldly wine, which leads to sin and harm. Surah Al-Insan 76:5 and 76:21. Indeed, the righteous will drink from a cup of wine whose mixture is of kafur 76:5, and they will be given to drink a cup of wine whose mixture is of ginger 76:21. More references to the pure wine of paradise associated with joy, reward, and no harm. A theological, ethical, and social prohibition. As we reach the conclusion of our exploration, it's important to step back and reflect, not just on what Islam says about alcohol, but why it says it. The prohibition of alcohol in Islam is not an isolated ruling. It is deeply embedded within a larger ethical framework, one that prioritizes human dignity, societal stability, and spiritual clarity, from revelation to regulation. First, let us remember, the Qur'an's approach was not impulsive. It was incremental, pedagogical, and profoundly psychological. It recognized the human condition, the habits of society, and the challenges of transformation. Rather than issuing an immediate ban, the Qur'an addressed the mind, then the behavior, and finally, the legal status. This speaks to divine wisdom that real change must be internalized, not imposed overnight. A rational and moral imperative. Alcohol impairs judgment, increases risk-taking behavior, and is a leading factor in preventable deaths worldwide. Social scientists, medical professionals, and criminologists all recognize its corrosive effects on the brain, on families, and on communities. The Qur'an anticipated this. It stated clearly, intoxicants breed hostility, block prayer, and obstruct spiritual awareness. The goal of Islam is not merely abstinence, it is elevation, to rise above what numbs the intellect and shackles the soul. The Islamic legal consensus. From a legal standpoint, all four Sunni madhabs, Hanafi, Maliki, Shafi'i, and Hanbali, concur on the prohibition of khamr and all intoxicants. This ruling is not debated. It is supported by dozens of authentic ahadith, centuries of fiqh literature, and the principle of ijma, scholarly consensus. Even nuanced positions, such as early Hanafi distinctions between wine and other intoxicants, were eventually harmonized within the broader prohibition. The message is clear. Any substance that intoxicates in any amount is haram. So yes, alcohol is haram, not as a mere restriction, but as a comprehensive act of protection for the self, the soul, and society. Thank you for watching. If this video inspired deeper thought or changed your perspective, subscribe to Spread Religion of Allah and share this message with others seeking clarity in a clouded world. Stay rooted in knowledge, stay elevated in purpose, and above all, stay safe, stay conscious.